Good morning. It is Saturday. Thanks for checking in with us here at Atlanta News First Plus. Hope your weekend's off to a great start. Weather-wise, it's looking great as we look right now at Lake Lanier. How gorgeous does this look? If you are making some plans to get outside today and get on the water, you will want to stand by to hear the forecast in just a moment from First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. She is tracking the possibility of some rain and storms that could pop up. But for now, good morning to you. I'm Megan Packer here to update you on some of the day's top news stories. And one story that we've been following since last night is a crash in Marietta involving 3 cars that sent 3 people to the hospital, including 2 police officers. We had a crew out there last night. We just got some new information into the newsroom. So I will show you this video from that scene last night, and I will let you know that the 2 officers involved are out of the hospital. So that is some good news. And we're hearing from Marietta Police that a driver of a Mustang slammed into the marked patrol vehicle. It was an SUV. They were at a red light. This is at Roswell Street and Cobb Parkway, if you're familiar with this area of Marietta. Again, police say that a Mustang slammed into a Marietta Police SUV. They were on their way to a call when they were hit. And then after the Mustang hit them, the Mustang spun out of control and then hit the back passenger corner of not only that Ford Explorer, but then hit the rear of a Toyota Prius driven by a 60-year-old driver of Marietta. So we know that the Mustang driver was ejected, and then the 2 officers had to be extricated because of the damage to their SUV. So that gives you an idea of just how bad that damage was. Now, the 2 officers are out of the hospital, even though they did have serious injuries. The driver of the Mustang is currently still in the hospital with serious injuries, but we're told they were not life-threatening. But again, that driver not yet released from the hospital. And charges are anticipated, but they have not yet been filed related to that crash last night. Right now, there are about 17,000 AT&T workers who are on strike, and this comes after the Communications Workers of America has filed an unfair labor practice charge with the National Labor Relations Board. These workers are on strike to protest what they call unfair labor practices. They accuse AT&T of not bargaining in good faith, surface bargaining, and not sending someone to the negotiating table who can make decisions. You're looking at video here of a protest from last month when we spoke with some of those AT&T workers in Midtown Atlanta. We are hearing from AT&T this morning. They say in part that they are eager to reach an agreement that benefits our hardworking employees. They say that CWA's claims of unfair labor practices are not grounded in fact. They go on to say we have been engaged in substantive bargaining since day one and are eager to reach an agreement that benefits our hardworking employees. As evidence, we have reached 3 agreements this year covering more than 13,000 employees, including our most recent tentative agreement with District 9, which is in the West. We remain committed to working with District 3, the Southeast, in the same manner. They say that we are disappointed that union leaders would call for a strike at this point in the negotiations rather than directing their energies toward constructive discussions at the bargaining table. This action needlessly jeopardizes the wages and well-being of our employees. And they wrap up their statement saying we have various business continuity measures in place to avoid disruptions to operations and will continue to provide our customers with the great service they expect. That is the latest statement we got from AT&T this morning. So we'll watch this one closely as, again, 17,000 AT&T workers are on strike in the Southeast, including in Georgia. The Cobb County School District has banned additional books. We are talking about 13 more books. The books join 7 others that the public school district has already banned from its libraries. The district says that the decision comes after reviews found that they are sexually inappropriate for children. While some parents agree about that, others say it's a form of censorship. We have a list of all the banned books posted on our website. It's atlantanewsfirst.com if you would like to check that out for yourself. The DeKalb County School District has implemented some new security measures at their stadiums for games, and the new measures seem to be working. They added the Evolve Express weapons detection system to all 5 of its football stadiums. It uses sensors and artificial intelligence to detect any weapons someone may have. And we heard from some parents that say that they feel a bit safer now going out to some of these games. The district is also using the technology at some of its high schools. During the 2022-23 school year, they confiscated 24 guns, they say, but a year after the machines were brought into schools, only 4 guns were taken. We were out bright and early today with a bunch of runners at the Atlanta's Finest 5K. It was held this morning in downtown Atlanta. It is the Atlanta Police Foundation's annual fundraiser for Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers, of course, allows the community to remain anonymous and call in tips about crimes. It could get you cash in your pocket starting at $2,000. You hear us talk about this a lot. There is always a minimum $2,000 Crime Stoppers reward available if you have a tip that could help lead to an arrest and conviction in a case. The number is 404-577-TIPS. So this 5K this morning is just one way that the Atlanta Police Foundation raises money to go toward that effort. And they had a pretty nice morning out there for the race. It's been nice and cool before we get to the 90s later today. So thanks for checking in with us. Let's talk our weather now as we take another peek outside over a gorgeous Lake Lanier. I'll bring in First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi, tracking, though, the possibility of some storms for later today. Not only storms, Courtney, but the possibility of possibly some severe weather, right?
That's
or
right.
Severe storms.
Right, yeah. And not a widespread chance for severe weather, not a widespread chance for rain today, but we will have the chance for at least some thunderstorm activity as we head through the next several hours. So just something to note as you're starting to think about making your Saturday plans, that storms, especially after 4 o'clock, will be possible. So don't go canceling your plans. I don't think you need to do that, but definitely a day to be mindful as you're making your way out and about. As again, we are dealing with thunderstorms that'll carry some heavy rain, maybe some gusty wind, maybe even some small hail if any storms do spark severe. So hope your day's off to a good start. It looks great out there. I'm First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Let's get into the forecast. Here's a look at the severe outlook today. So all of the area under a level 1 threat for severe storms, and essentially what that means is isolated severe storms are possible. So the severe risk is very low today, also low tomorrow. Notice that yellow color, that's a level 2 of 5 threat for severe weather. That's mainly for our far southern counties. So Troup, Meriwether County, Pike, Lamar, Upson County, parts of Putnam County. We'll have a cold front move in tomorrow, and that's just going to add a little extra lift in the air. And with that extra ingredient of that front kind of forcing everything up, that just warrants a higher chance for severe weather, but the threat's still very low, and our rain chance even pretty low tomorrow. Of course, Megan was talking about lots of things going on, one of those things being the Piedmont Park Arts Fest. This is a great event. The artists are just incredible here, and the weather will be pretty nice. We'll have temperatures in the mid-80s by 1 o'clock. This already kicked off an hour ago, but by 1 o'clock, we'll have the chance for a few storms to start to roll in. I think at 1, a lot of the storm activity will be north of the city and starting to eject in. So all of our storms today will move in from the north and push off to the southeast. So I think at 1 o'clock, that 20% coverage is more so for areas north of the city. And then that coverage starts to increase around 4 to about 30%. So I don't think the event's going to go off completely dry, but towards the end of it, that's when you'll probably be watching for those storms to start to roll in. But it's not going to be a washout. Most of the event should be pretty good today with temperatures again in the low 90s. So it'll be a hot and humid day. Just make sure you're drinking plenty of water if you head outside. All the storms today are out ahead of a cold front, and these little waves of energy are going to kind of eject out ahead of it. And with that said, these little short waves, we call them, they're really difficult to forecast because they're so small scale. So models really do struggle with these, but I think this model is doing the best with our outcome today. So again, here's a look at 1 o'clock. We'll have the chance for a few isolated storms, mainly north of the city. So Floyd, Chattooga County will kind of be looking at you. Of course, we have things like Corky Kell Classic going on this weekend. Lots of football games that have already started and are going through the entire afternoon and evening. Should be mostly dry for those afternoon games. By 3 o'clock, again, mainly north of the city is where we'll look for a chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then 6 p.m. is when we'll be watching more so for the best chance of rain within Metro. Between about 4 and 8 will be the best chance for rain within Metro Atlanta. And so here's a look at 6. We'll watch for a few clusters of storms to move in, again, from northwest to southeast. And you're seeing these little kind of cells firing up here on Futurecast. And any of these storms that develop out ahead of them, that kind of like linear feature that you're seeing near Rome and south, That's where you can get those straight line damaging winds out ahead. And we also will have the potential for some small hail in these storms. But if you have any plans tonight, of course, we have Luke Bryan's at Truist Park. We have Tate McRae and Chastain Park around 8 o'clock tonight. I do think that you could get briefly rain delayed in the beginning of any of those shows. But after 8 o'clock, so for things like Tate McRae concert later tonight, if you're headed out to dinner later tonight, anything after 8 o'clock should be mostly dry. We could have a few showers overnight, and tomorrow morning we'll look mainly in the mountains for our rain chance, and our cold front tomorrow morning will start to move in. And notice as we head into the afternoon and evening, we look mostly dry. I think mostly south of I-20. That's where models have been kind of consistently keeping most of the rain tomorrow, which is in line with that severe threat for tomorrow. When it comes to the humidity behind that front, so after our hot and humid and slightly stormy weekend, we will have drier air usher in. Unfortunately, not for Monday morning. Monday morning will still be a little bit on the muggy side, but Monday afternoon and evening is going to be fantastic. You're going to leave work on Monday. There's going to be a nice breeze. The humidity is going to be dropping. There's going to be a lot of sunshine. Temperatures will be in the 80s. It is just going to be gorgeous Monday afternoon, and that weather will continue into Tuesday. And honestly, guys, I think this weather sticks around. The lower humidity stays with us all the way through Thursday at least. We'll keep an eye on Friday, but right now for most of your week, it is going to be super comfortable. Pair the lower humidity with temperatures like this in the morning. You'll want to give yourself just a few extra minutes to maybe like have a cup of coffee outside on your balcony, your back porch, whatever it is, because it's just going to be fantastic. Forecast lows will be in the 60s most of the week, and that's in Atlanta. So Tuesday morning, I wouldn't rule out that the mountains are waking up in the 50s on Tuesday morning. So super, super comfortable. And again, we'll have mornings generally in the 60s throughout the entire week with that lower humidity sticking around. So we'll be dry. It's just going to be beautiful. We do still have Hurricane Ernesto. I'll quickly touch on this. It is still impacting the island of Bermuda, bringing very heavy rain and some gusty winds, starting to kind of move away from Bermuda. And this hurricane will continue to maintain hurricane status for the next couple of days. In fact, staying a hurricane at least through Monday. By Tuesday morning, downgrading back to a tropical depression, essentially a remnant low, as it makes its way across the Atlantic, back across the Atlantic, and closer to the UK. Wouldn't that be crazy if it impacted the UK also? Just so wild. Obviously, our world is connected in such interesting ways weather-wise. But, yeah, potentially Ernesto becoming a remnant low and maybe headed towards the United Kingdom. So obviously not going to impact us, but just figured we'd give you guys a heads up and a little update on Ernesto. Here's looking at your First Alert 7-day forecast. So no First Alert weather days. Today will be the stormiest day of the entire week, really. Best chance for rain within Metro between about 4 and 8 p.m. Again, not going to be a washout. A lot of these storms are very quick moving, so, you know, you'll get rained on for about half an hour and then it'll all go away. So don't go canceling your plans, but have the First Alert weather app handy. That's a really good tool. When you're out and about, you're obviously not sitting by the TV. You're not sitting in your house. You're out and about. A First Alert weather app will alert you when storms are kind of headed your way. So that'll be able to kind of prepare you so you can maybe kind of head indoors, maybe go grab a bite to eat or something like that, or just kind of find your way inside until storms pass, all that good stuff. And then tomorrow, mostly south of I-20 is where we'll look for that rain chance with temperatures in the 90s. As we head through this upcoming week, beautiful morning, super comfortable, temperatures in the 60s, just gorgeous. And even Tuesday, Wednesday morning, I think we could have some spots in the upper 50s up in the mountains. It'll just be wonderful. Lots of sunshine this week with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. I was saying that, so Starbucks brings out its fall flavors on Thursday, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we're getting a little taste of fall this week. It's like the weather just knew that this week needed to be a little more comfortable for the rollout of that to make it truly successful and give it the love that it deserves on Thursday. So if you know me, you know I love my fall. I love everything that comes with fall. So very, very excited for this week. We'll get a little taste of fall, which we had recently as well. So we've been getting pretty lucky. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoy your day today. Again, keep your eyes to the skies this afternoon as we will have the chance for a few storms. Isolated severe storm with gusty wind and some small hail possible the next couple of days. So not a huge threat for severe weather, but something that we'll still be tracking for you. In the meantime, enjoy the weekend, and we will catch you here next time.